wanted to show you how to create a deer hair wing. This wing's used on Roy Christie's reverse parachute. And usually people use hackle. Here I'm using deer hair. I've got a piece of deer hair and I'm harvesting the hair itself using a clip. This is actually the Swiss CDC clip. And that's done, deer hair dyed done. Now go ahead, flip it underneath it, and pull some of the deer hair off and then transfer it to another clip. Now take that first clip and move it out within a quarter inch or so of the tips. Now I take that clip and turn it upside down, and I'm using the table to even up all the deer hair. This is probably the most important part of this. And it also, what it does is it spaces out the deer hair. It spreads it out along that length. I didn't quite like it. Give it a chance again to do it again. See how it's evened everything up? That's pivotal. Now I'll take the clip again and then I'll leave as much as the length, accounting for the length of the hair that I want on the wing and also for the butt ends. Now I'll trim off the excess. And this becomes the hair, deer hair, that I'll create a brush for. I'm going to switch over to the view of my vise and create a loop. What I have here is 70 denier white thread and a 206 BL hook in a size 16. I need to use this heavier thread mainly because I'm going to rack it down pretty good on the loop. And I also need to create a heck of I like to create a really good base for my loop. So I go to a lot of lengths to really create that strong base. Now this is a piece of 6X tippet, fluorocarbon tippet. And I'll whip finish it down. Now create that loop, and this will be the base or post for my brush and my wing. And I like to wrap it 6 to 7 times around it to nail it down. Now you can see I've left a tag in on both ends. And I'm going to whip finish again and hook that loop up to my hangman's noose. You can see the tag in that I'm going to pull on it first. All right. Now, I like a lot of tension on that post. And I've got it made out of brass and it bends with it rather well. Now all I'm doing is creating a dubbing loop. Bit of wax. Now you'll see I've got the hook covered with a piece of tubing. That's so it keeps my thread split so I can find it. Now they have the other dubbing loops that have the 2 wires. That's too far apart. I like it just that much, just so I can find it. And I'm just making sure there's no twist so I can get that loop to go clear up right up against the hook. Now I'll take my dubbing loop and I'll place my hair inside that loop. Now see how that, what's nice about this clip? It's got that tip, so it lets you get right up in there. And that wax is so I don't drop all that hair. Now, when you first start spinning this thing, you got to go lightly, and you got to give it some slack and let it build up and let it pull itself in. Now I'm going to cut off my tool, transfer it to my hackle pliers. Now making sure I've got no twist in that post. And I stick my fingers in between that loop to press down, to push down that hair, because I want it once again to really butt up against the hook. So I'll go about 3 times, untake out those twists, and then push that hair down. And depending on how dense I want that wing, quote unquote, wing to be, is how many wraps I'll put. Now I'm going to push that brush twice through that loop. Around and then again. And once again, I'm just trying to keep those hairs pushed down. Now I'm releasing some tension, but I'm still keeping that tension on that. What you don't want it to do is for that post to twist, because then you'll have problems pulling it down and it creating knots in there, and it's just a mess. So just keep it on the hook for a while. My buddy Roy Christie can do that without using that hangman, and he's just got better fingers than me. See how I loosen it down, and then I tighten it up, and then I'll pull it down. And see it, I don't let that post twist. Now I'm just going to pull on that and get it to seat really well. Now I'm going to use my pliers and get that other tag end and pull on it. And that really gathers up all of that deer hair down below. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull those, cut those tag ends. Now I've never had it come apart, but I'm a bit of a nudge, so I'm going to drop some super glue on there. Put a little micro drop of super glue. Now I'm cutting off right there. I'm cutting off the excess from that brush. I got a pretty good quote unquote wing. And my thread shows up a bit, or my tippet, so I just like to color it just a little bit. Now I've got a little micro drop of super glue, and then I'll put another one that goes. And that stuff, you know how well that stuff just soaks in. It really goes. And that way I really get a strong post. And after that, you can actually, I'll add hackle, or I'll make another loop and add CDC underneath it. But this is just the basics of that wing for a reverse parachute using deer hair.